In this video, we will take a look on how you're going to prepare your assignment for A03 print paper sample print to Jpeg file. So first thing you need to do is create a collection for this assignment. I'm in the library module. I will go into the collection section on the left-hand side. I'll click on the plus, click on create, and name my collection for the assignment. So this is A03 underscore print paper sample. I'll name this one a 2 because I actually already have one. And I strongly suggest that you check this box that says Set as Target Collection because this will allow you to quickly select images for the assignment. So make sure this is checked. I'll choose Create. Once it's created, you will notice that in your collection menu panel, you will see that you have a print sample paper collection. Then what you can do is click on any particular folder of your choice. If you know where your images are as to which ones you want to print, or you can go ahead and look at all of your images. If you don't have a huge catalog, you can take a look at all photographs and scroll through there and find the images you would like to have printed. I already actually grabbed some, but if you were to see an image that you wanted to print, for example, this sunset shot, you would click on it and press the letter B for boy, and that will put it inside your target collection. If you press on it again, it will take it out of that collection, as you may remember. So let's say you choose this image and maybe you're going to choose this image, press the letter B, and so on. So I already done that. So here is my collection that I'm going to use for the print assignment. Now read your print assignment carefully and you will notice that you need to select an image that will look good as a duotone, an image that will look good as a neutral black and white, and an image that will look good as a color image. So I'm selecting these. I have not decided which color image I'm going to choose, probably this car image. Now you have 3 paper types that you'll be printing on for this particular semester. And the papers are Red River Polar Luster, Canon Infinity Edition Etching Rag, and Canon Platine Fiber Rag. So from our Zoom meeting, we would have discussed which papers might look good for what type of particular image and paper combination. So I think this particular image will look good as an etching rag. It will have quite a bit of texture. Then I'm thinking for the duotone, I will print this one on the Canson Platine Fiber Rag, which has a little bit of a sheen to it, but still a fiber paper. And then this black and white neutral image, I will choose to print on the Polar Luster paper. It has even a bit more of a sheen than the fiber rag. These are just my personal choices. You can follow your own instinct, and this will be part of your analysis as to why you've chosen the images that you've chosen. So you would go through the process of creating your duotone, you would go through the process of creating your black and white and the color image. So these will have to be completely finished in the develop module, utilizing all of the techniques that you've learned thus far to create these particular images. You may also choose to crop the image, or you can print full frame. So this particular image was cropped, so the original one looks like this, and I had cropped it a little bit from the right-hand side to balance the image a little bit better, where his eye kind of meets the rule of thirds right there. Okay, so now I've done that, I'm ready to go into the print module. So I will go into the print module. First thing I choose to do is whatever comes up, don't worry about it. Last time I guess I created some kind of a little promo proof sheet type thing. But whatever you do, whatever comes up, it doesn't matter because you're going to set it up. So I'm going to click on Page Setup. And reading your assignment, you will notice that this assignment is printed as 8.5 by 11, which is US letter. US letter is 8.5 by 11. Notice 8.5 by 11 pops up. It will have a little bit of a thin border, but I would actually like you to create at least, I believe, a 1/2 inch border all around. So I'm going to choose US letter. Notice I have one image that's a vertical and 2 images that are horizontal. So I will have to set up my vertical separately from my horizontal. So this one is going to be for my vertical, US letter, vertical. And it doesn't matter what it says up here, format for. In fact, I'm going to just choose any printer. So I'll choose any printer and I'll choose US letter. Any printer, US letter, vertical for this one. Click OK. Okay, and so I have to clear whatever I got going on here. So I'm going to look over to the right-hand side and click on Single Image. So there's my single image. And I'm going to actually select my lady walking away from the church. So here she is, and this is how it comes up. Or yours may come up slightly differently. It's okay. So I'm going to go through the settings. So what I want to do here is, I don't want to zoom to fill, because it's going to crop into my image. I don't want to do that. I want to do a full frame. And I'm going to choose a 1/2 inch border. So notice over here, my margins left, right, top, and bottom. So I click on the period, number 5, and I use the tab key to tab through them. 0.5, 0.5, and 0.5. Now, on the bottom, you may get this error saying that you cannot do 0.5, but you can do 0.55 or you can do 0.56. That is okay. Go ahead and leave it at 0.56 if that comes up. It'll be a little bit higher on the bottom. Now make sure that your cell size is expanded all the way to the edges, because sometimes it may do something like this. So make sure you expand it all the way to the edges. Okay. And you can see how your image will print out. So I don't want to do a full frame, but if you want to do a full frame, you're welcome to. That will mean that you're going to do zoom to fill. So it will look like this. I actually don't mind it looking a little bit elongated. So that is up to you. I'm not going to select any other choices from the options down below except print job. So I'm going to close the page and I'm going to close the guides and I'm going to look at my print page. Now this is very important that you're mindful and you choose, instead of printer, you choose Jpeg file. Jpeg file. And once you choose the Jpeg file, then the resolution comes up and you're going to type in 240. That's for an inkjet type of print. Sharpening will be standard. And remember that this paper I'm choosing, I'm going to be printing on platine fiber rag. So this is it's kind of a matte paper. It's a rag matte paper. So I'm going to choose my sharpening for matte. And my JPEG quality is going to be 100. And my custom file dimension you could check, and that will give you the full 8.5 by 11 option. The color profile is going to be Adobe RGB. And the color intent will be relative. Okay, so this one is set up, and so you are ready to choose print to file. Now, when you choose print to file, your interface will open up, and go ahead and find your folder Photo 5 to be turned in folder, because you're going to put it in to be turned in. Create a new folder in to be turned in. Name your folder A03 _ your last name. underscore your first initial. That will be a folder, create. And then you're going to save it as A03. And again, your last name. And now underscore the name of the paper you're planning to print this on. This is the only way I'm going to know how to send it off to be printed, if I know the paper type. So I'm going to choose Platine Fiber Rag. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. You will see a little progress bar. Off it goes to be saved. Now I'm going to work on my second image, but before I do, I need to turn the paper. So I'm going to click on Page Setup one more time, and this time I'm going to choose the little man laying on his side. Click OK. So now it's a horizontal. And I will go ahead and click on my image that is going to be printed horizontally. Pay attention to your borders. If you have a hard time seeing the actual paper, you may choose to click on the guides and turn off the show guides, and then you can see exactly how it's going to lay. See, it's a little bit easier to look at. And I'm going to use the same settings. Notice that my right side is now 5.6, so it's a little bit wider on the right side. So if you would like to have the even borders, you may choose to do 0.56, 0.56, 0.56, 0.56. That way it's all even all around. You also may choose to do a stroke on your piece of, rather on your image on the piece of paper. So here we have an option to stroke. And if you choose to stroke, you can, and then you will change the width of your stroke. I like to do a very small key line stroke, so a very thin line, about 2 points, okay? And once again, it should stay as it did before. Under Print Job, make sure it goes to JPEG file. Make sure the resolution is 240, that printing standard, and again, so the black and white one I decided to do on luster paper. Remember, luster paper is actually a shiny paper. So I'm going to choose glossy for sharpening. And I'm going to check the 11 by 8.5 setting. Adobe RGB is the color profile, and it's set to relative. And I'm going to go ahead and choose print to file. And so notice it's going into my folder that I've created earlier, A03 Calzati _N. And then this one is going to be called A03 _ your last name _ the paper type. So this is Polar Luster. You can type out Red River Polar Luster or Polar Luster. I will know which one that is. And I'm going to save. So the progress bar is going through. And then the last one, here's the last one. So this one is also horizontal, and I actually really like this. Black border, and I have even borders all around. Double check all your settings. But this time, this one is going to be the etching rag paper. So it's a matte paper. It's a very kind of textured paper. So make sure to change your matte setting for media type as far as sharpening goes, and everything else stays the same. And I'm going to go ahead and click print to file, and it's going to be A03 _ my last name _ the name of the paper, which is Infinity Edition Rag, whoops, etching rag. Rag. And I'm going to save that one. And off the progress goes. Now I'm going to check everything is done correctly. So I'm going to click on my Finder. If you're on Windows machine, you will click on Explorer. I'll go ahead and select New Window, and I will go ahead and select my hard drive, and here's photo 5 to be turned in, A03, and here we go. I have 3 files, all 3 JPEGs. This is the etching rag. This is how it's going to print. And you can also see the settings in your system preferences. I believe on Windows you can see the same. So notice it's telling you the dimension size, that it's an RGB, Adobe RGB profile. It's a JPEG. And this is the platinum fiber. And this is the polar luster. You will zip this folder. So if I right click and I choose compress, it will zip this folder. There it is. And this folder you're going to upload to Canvas.